And we're live. Woo! We're back. The AutoAuthorities Podcast. I am Jay Grossman. I'm the founder and CEO of iAutoAgent, and this is Mr.
David Marks with Quality Auto STL, where you get trusted services with no surprises.
We wanted to welcome you today. We have an amazing topic we're talking about. It's called Kelley Blue Book. I have heard this term so many millions of times, and today we're going to teach you the truth behind Kelley Blue Book and how you might want to think twice before you use it to value your car or another car. You ready to get this thing going, Dave?
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Have you ever felt like you were taken for a ride when buying, selling, or repairing your car? Well, not anymore. I'm Jay.
And I'm Dave.
And this is the podcast that tells you what to watch out for, whether you're buying, selling,
or repairing your car.
With 47 years of automotive experience, we are the Automotive Authorities. This podcast is sponsored by iAutoAgent. We're real estate agents for cars.
And Quality Auto STL. Trusted services with no surprises.
Yo, we're back. And my name is Jay Grossman with iAutoAgent. And I just wanted to thank our wonderful, not only a sponsor, but the amazing Techie Tony from Techie Tony Media that has made all this beautiful stuff happen. And I'm just excited to be here today because this is a topic that every single person, unless you're not breathing.
What about Bobby?
You know what? Bobby went to the dealer and he talked to Guido. So no, in all seriousness though, this is a topic we have to talk about today. And it is Kelley Blue Book. Has anybody ever heard of Kelley Blue Book?
Nope, never have.
Never. What do you think of Kelley Blue Book, Dave? What do you know about it? I'm just curious.
Sometimes I look at Kelley Blue Book and I'm like, can I get excited? And other times I just want to strangle somebody. Because to me, I also sell cars. I'm in that 3,000 to 6,000 range, and I use it as a tool. But there's sometimes I look and I go, no, that is not accurate. And other times I'm like, yeah.
Exactly. So for those of you that don't know what Kelley Blue Book is, Kelley Blue Book is a guide that you can go on the internet. And it used to be all, in the olden days, back when I was younger. I won't date myself too much at my age of 48. But we had these little books that you could go buy, and they were Kelley Blue Book. And the banks actually used them back in the day. And then all of a sudden, somebody adopted that name and they made a website. And the website is a place that you can go to potentially value your car. And the name Kelley Blue Book, I'm just going to use the word unfortunately. Unfortunately is a trusted name out there. And keep in mind, my opinions aren't necessarily like what you may think, but I take 26 years of experience doing this. And when somebody says, Kelley said this and Kelley said that, I just cringe because I know the truth behind Kelley Blue Book. And Dave, like when you're selling your cars, do you go to Kelley Blue Book to value your cars?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Sometimes I just make up a price and that's what it is. If people don't like it, then go somewhere else.
Well, that's a good way of valuing your car.
Well, when you're selling $3,000 and $6,000 cars, especially at a repair shop, I don't care what the book says. I want this. And
Exactly. Now we're getting somewhere. Your car is worth what someone's willing to pay for it. And in this episode today, we're going to show you how to value your car properly to make sure that if you are selling it on your own or you're wanting to trade it in, that you're not asking for some ridiculous amount of money, or on the flip side, that you're not asking too little of dollars for your car, right? So here's how Kelley Blue Book works. You go on the website, you type in your information, year, make, model. You also type in the color, the options, all of these different things. And then you get this value. And then you have different types of values, right? You have the private owner value. That's if you're a private owner and you're selling the vehicle. You have what a dealer would sell the vehicle for. And now you have this choice to sell it through Kelley Blue Book. It's called Kelley Blue Book Trade-in Marketplace. And let me tell you something about this. If you like having your information sold to marketing companies, you may want to think twice before you put your information in the computer with your name and address and all your contact information, unless you want to be bombarded by 35,000 dealers that have been sold your information, that will be making offers through an email that mean absolutely nothing. Your vehicle is worth what they decide to value it at when you get to the dealer, not over the computer. So when you receive these computer valuations, be very, very careful. And I'm going to go a little bit further into this. Dave, do you remember Lending Tree? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember Lending Tree.
Do you remember, you know what Lending Tree was? Or I don't even know if it's still around.
Yeah, it was a thing where when banks compete, you win. That's what their motto was.
Exactly. And now that is what Kelley Blue Book has created. They have created this: when dealers compete, you win.
Yeah,
and really in the reality, you lose, because you're going to get wholesale for your car. And let me tell you something. There is no such thing as Mr. Kelley. There is no place that Kelley Blue Book has. They are owned by a massive corporation called Cox Automotive. And Cox Automotive is the Wizard of Oz behind the scenes. And they own Manheim Auctions. They own Auto Trader. They own several other automobile-related companies. And the point that I'm trying to make is this. When you put your information in Kelley Blue Book and you decide, because it's going to give you choices, you want an instant cash offer right now? Guess what? Your information's being sold. Yeah. I love your faces, Dave. I have a little thorn in my side. I really do. And I love getting on a platform like this because I can tell people how it really is. Do you know how Kelley Blue Book makes money?
They ain't getting a penny from me.
Well, they're not making money off you, but they're sure making money off consumers. And they're also making money through advertising. So if you go to Kelley Blue Book and you type in your computer, kbb.com, what are the first things that you see?
Advertising for new
Bingo!
car.
You win a prize.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you
same
see
here.
all these ads, and it's like, oh, buy this brand, buy that brand. Kelley Blue Book is funded by manufacturers and dealers. It is not a consumer source, and that's what bothers me more than anything. It is run by dealers. It is run by Cox Automotive, which is in cahoots with the dealers. So here's the bottom line. Here's another way they make money. These dealers are paying thousands of dollars a month to be able to have the opportunity to email you, to text you, to call you when they get your information. And it's being sold to many of them. And I'm going to tell you this, be prepared to be bombarded if you put your information in there.
I might just do that, Jay, just to have some fun.
Well, you could. Frankly, Dave, you know what? I hadn't been on Kelley Blue Book for a while. I was just playing around with it today, and it's an absolute joke. It really is. In fact, what's even more of a joke is when you start putting your information in Kelley Blue Book. Let's just say you don't sell your vehicle. Here's one of the problems. When you put your information in Kelley Blue Book, you're not putting the VIN, unless, of course, you want the cash offer. But you're not putting your VIN. You're only putting the year, make, and model. Mm-hmm. Therefore, there is a lot of room for a ton of inaccuracy. And the values don't stem from the actual vehicle that you have. The values stem from somebody just putting some information in the computer. And then they spit out this information. Is your vehicle, in great condition? Is it in just good condition? Is it in fair condition? Is it in poor condition? How many people think that their vehicle is in poor condition?
Very, very few.
Yes, exactly. So, oh no, my vehicle's great.
That's an excellent condition.
That stretch, all the way down the side of your car, Bobby.
Bobby don't know how to drive.
Well, Bobby is learning right now. Bobby's learning because Bobby, I can't laugh.
Does Bobby need some training wheels?
Bobby's learning, but when Bobby puts his information in, Bobby doesn't realize that he's putting in misinformation that is not going to value his car properly. But let's just say hypothetically, Bobby puts his information in. And the other problem is when you put the options, it gives you all these options that a lot of times are standard for that car. So if you put the trim level in, and
explain trim level, Jake, because I think Kelley Blue Book really screws people up.
Okay, so I'm just gonna use, oh man, what do I want to put as a trim level? I'm just gonna use an SS Camaro, right? Maybe that it's standard for an SS Camaro to have a Bose sound system, okay? And when you put in Kelley Blue Book, it gives you an option for a Bose sound system. When that's a standard option, that should have already been standard. So it's going to add extra money to your car that it's not really worth.
Sure. Well, what I was thinking about trim level is like Hondas. They have the LX, DX, FX, all that.
Oh,
that's what I meant.
Okay, so let's say it's a Honda Odyssey EXL, and it's EXL means leather. So let's say someone chooses leather as an option. Well, any EXL has leather. Every single one of them does. The EXs don't, but the EXLs do. Now they may not have DVD and navigation, but they do have leather. And what it's going to do is it's going to give you a value that is not accurate. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
And when you see this value, you're like, oh my gosh, I can go out and get this value for my car. Oh my gosh, it's amazing what Kelley Blue Book says.
Yeah, because I've seen it where Kelley or the car's got options and they're not listed on Kelley Blue Book. It don't even list it. Or the trim level is wrong. I've seen all kinds of inaccuracies with it.
Well, and I'm going to tell you this. Here's another thing it doesn't take into account. It doesn't take into account the high demand or the low demand car. It just kind of mumbles them together. And here's the other thing too. Kelley Blue Book is very delayed in how it prices its vehicles. Therefore, right now is a very volatile time. And they can't keep up with the values because values are changing like left and right now. And they're going up. I mean, really, if you're selling a car right now, you're going to get top dollar for it. There's no doubt about it. Anybody will give you top dollar. So the question is, who's going to give you the most? And I'm going to give you a little hint.
Is this another Jay's Golden Nugget?
It's like Jay's Golden Nugget. It's not Kelley Blue Book. It's iAutoAgent. iAutoAgent will give you the most money for your car.
That's right.
In all seriousness, though, like as far as how do you price your car? Because I know that that's what everybody's thinking right now. Well, how do I price my car? How should I know how much my car is worth? Well, I will tell you this. If it's a dealer, they're going to get the most amount of money for their cars. If it's a private owner, they're going to get the second most. If it's a trade-in, you're down in the pits.
Yeah. Hey Jay, I'm gonna just pause here a second. So you just named the 3 prices.
Yes.
Just do a quick rundown of why a dealer can get more than a private party, and what a person trading in their car in, how are they paying for that trade and when they trade in it at that price?
Absolutely.
A lot of people really don't understand that.
Well, when you think about it, when you go to these dealers, they have these beautiful service departments. We've talked about this over and over. The dealers spend a lot of money on these cars to try to put them on the lot to make them right, and you also have recourse against dealers. If you were to buy a car, they have warranties, and for the most part, reputable dealers, they stand behind their cars. Well, if you are trading in a car, you're selling the vehicle as is. You're not even cleaning it up. You're not even so much doing an oil change when you're taking it to the dealer. So here's where we talk about margin. Private owners, when they sell a car, it's buyer beware here in Missouri. If you buy a vehicle from somebody in Missouri as a private owner, guess what? You're out of luck if you have a problem. If the wheels fall off and God forbid kill everybody in the car, you're not liable. So when you take away all that liability and the dealers take on that liability and they take on the overhead, that's where the margins come in. When you go to the dealer, you're going to figure, and this is on an average, a dealer's going to want to make $4,000 to $5,000 on your car. That's an average. When you get into trucks and you get into like higher end vehicles, that dealer might want to make $8,000 to $10,000 to $12,000 on your vehicle. Now, it depends on what vehicle it is. So let's say hypothetically, I'm just going to use a normal vehicle. Let's just say it's a Nissan Murano, and the dealer has it listed for $15,000. They're going to want to try to take that in on trade for about $10,000. That's about wholesale on that vehicle. You got about a $5,000 margin. They're probably going to list it at $14,997. They're going to put it through their service department, do all their warranties, maybe put some tires, blah, 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 right? But that person is going to get $10,000. Now let's talk about the private owner. The private owner cannot ask $15,000 for that car. They can, but they're never going to sell it. And no matter what Kelley Blue Book says, it doesn't matter. You're going to want to be about $2,000 or more under the dealer price to have a shot of selling it on your own. Else they're just going to go to the dealer. It's the same thing as like, well, I'm not even going to use the real estate agent model right now. But it really is true. And dealers have to make their money. So how do dealers value cars? This is a very interesting topic.
Ooh.
Listen closely. Another one of Jay's golden nuggets. Dave, tell me all the books that you know that value cars.
Well, we've been talking. The other one is it's the famous Black Book.
Okay, Black Book. What other one?
There's Edmunds.
Edmunds.
Carfax values them on their
Carfax is now valuing vehicles. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
NADA values vehicles. Kelley Blue Book values vehicles. The question is now, Dave, which book do you use?
I use my book.
Exactly. Every single book is wrong. Because you know what your car's worth?
What
Your
somebody's
car
willing
is
to pay
worth
for it.
what the market tells you it's worth. And we have sophisticated tools at iAutoAgent that we use that we can get current and past data, like up to the second, on what vehicles are worth. And so do dealers. The consumers do not have access to these tools. And so what happens is, if you underprice your car, you leave money on the table. If you overprice your car, you're losing money. I'm sorry, you're not going to sell it. Nobody's ever going to buy it. So what do? My best advice is this. You simply look at the market of what a dealer is going to try to get for that vehicle. Dealers are pretty much getting what their asking prices are. There's really no negotiations. And go a couple $1,000s at least underneath that dealer price, and that's about what you're going to wind up getting for your vehicle. Would you agree, Dave?
Yeah, I say that's extremely accurate.
Yeah. And what I see too is, and here's the other thing too, you use, NADA, the banks use NADA. Well, NADA is more of a retail type of a book. It's another one of these deals that they're not up to date like some of these other tools that are available. And unfortunately, consumers just don't have access to them. And they only have access to what they have access to. So it's important to use things such as what the market is. I like Car Gurus a lot. It'll tell you like what a dealer's asking. Now that's dealer retail. And that's the difference between if you go out and try to sell it private owner, or you try to, and then, one of the things that we do at iAutoAgent is we use these sophisticated tools. And since we don't have the overhead of a typical dealer, at no cost to the seller, we can give the seller more money upon a successful sale at the end. And the buyer can still buy it on the flip side for less because we're not marking them up. Because we don't have to make but a quarter to half the margin of a dealer. And we can build that right into our price. And that is why we are so successful. And then we don't have these long 4 to 7 hour drawn out type of, back and forth to Guido deals. And then the people that want to buy the cars, they hire us to help them buy cars nationwide, which I love it. And I wanted to give you another golden nugget here. Listen closely. When it comes to these values that you get through the computer, and I am not going to name any names, but they start with a C, one ends with an X, and the other one ends with an A, but I didn't want to say their name. and then I have been talking about Kelley Blue Book, so those also are computer generated, right? Be careful of computer generated values, because your car is not worth what that computer generated value is until a human being actually sees your car. And if there's a big disparity in the value, then I would be very careful on that. And I would also be very careful when somebody gives you a range of value. So they say, Dave, your car's worth anywhere from $10,000 to $12,000. What number did you just hear?
$12,000.
Yes, you sure did. But I said $10,000 to $12,000. Be careful, because if you hear the 12 and the other person hears the 10, chances are you might be getting 10 and wasting your time. So hopefully these types of things, have helped, try to give people like this realistic nature of finding the value of their car. Throw away Kelley Blue Book. It sucks. It absolutely sucks. It means nothing. And if you haven't been listening the whole time, when you put your information in there, they're going to sell your information to everybody in the world. And Manheim Auctions is right behind those numbers, because they're giving you auction prices. And if you want auction prices for your car, you should definitely use Kelley Blue Book, especially to sell it. Because what they do is they give a guarantee to the dealer. I don't know if you know, there's another golden nugget. Manheim actually, for the dealers that participate in this program, they give a guarantee to the dealer. If the dealer decides they don't want to buy the vehicle for that value, then the auction will buy it for that value. What does that tell you?
Wow.
You're leaving money on the table. Anyway, it's a really interesting time right now. We have a chip shortage. And,
that's what we're talking about next week, Jay.
Oh, I know. I'm going to give everybody a little teaser.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Dave, I'm not very good at keeping secrets, but I'm going to give a little teaser. This chip shortage could very much benefit you, and I am going to talk about the ins and outs of it and what it means to you and how you can capitalize on it. We all like, I don't know, a lot of us play the stock. I don't know. Do you play the stock market? Do you have investments?
No, I don't. I kind of half pay attention to it.
Okay.
Because just to see how good the economy is and as overall.
Dave actually won the lottery a couple years ago. People don't know that. He won $25 million. No, I'm just kidding. No. But all seriousness though, we all play the stock market. We all have investments and we all try to time the market. We should bring on a financial planner to talk about how to never time the market. But let me tell you this. I'm going to give you a secret next week on how to get the most bang for your buck and how to take advantage of this market right now. Yeah. That's going to be our next topic. And Dave, before we sign off here, what else do you have to add? What did I miss?
This story just keeps replaying in my head. I was selling a vehicle one day, and a guy was going on and on about Kelley Blue Book. I finally told him, "Well, call Kelley Blue Book, buy a car from them," and I just made it on the other end.
Good luck on that.
Yeah, good luck on that. It's just I don't care what Kelley Blue Book says. I said, I know somebody's going to pay me this for the car, and that's what it's worth. And
that's right.
And
I'm really hoping that people will throw away this and we can talk about real values of cars and throw this book away and let this company stop making money on all of us. It bothers me if you haven't noticed. So I love this platform. So anyway, so next episode, we're talking about the chip shortage and how you can capitalize on it. It's absolutely amazing right now, and I can't wait to share it. And I just wanted to thank once again Techie Tony from Techie Tony Media, our sponsor. I'm Jay Grossman. I'm the founder and CEO of iAutoAgent. Please like and subscribe to our podcast. We appreciate all your support. We are knocking it dead as far as our downloads, but we want to hear what you want to know. And we're going to be bringing some guests on here in the next few weeks coming. And we have some really cool stuff that we'll be taking this to the next level and some real experts in the automotive field outside of Dave and I's realm. So please let us know what you want to hear. Again, I'm Jay Grossman, CEO and founder of iAutoAgent, and this is Mr.
David Marks with Quality Auto STL, where you get trusted services with no surprises.
We really appreciated you guys spending the time with us today. Please like, subscribe, and we will see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.